it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. The NFL is finally back. We've got a nice little promo code for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The code is NFL20. We've got some rapid fire picks to give you guys. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to talk these NFL matchups. Let's get right to it, starting with the Dolphins and the Patriots. The Patriots favored in this one -6. The total is 42. Greg, who you got?
Well, this one you definitely want to shop around anywhere from 6 to 7. I've seen this one all week long. I like this Dolphins team. The more that Cam Newton talks, the more I kind of wonder that if they're trying to cover up, because in past Brady eras, no one talked week of games. So I like the Dolphins here. I think the Patriots could be good, but I think it's going to be in a few weeks.
Right. I like a total in this one over the total of 42. Two wild card quarterbacks in Ryan Fitzpatrick and Cam Newton, plus two defenses that are not very stout. The Patriots losing two of their best players on their defense due to opt-outs, and then the Dolphins couldn't stop anybody last season. So I like over the total in 42 in this one. Moving on to the Eagles at the Washington football team. Yeah, that's their name. The Eagles favored -5.5. The total is 42.5. 5.5 seems like a pretty low number against a Washington team that was not very good and has had all kinds of chaos organizationally. Craig, who do you like?
Well, I love the draft pick of Chase Young. I just don't know if he can cover up for how bad that defense was at times last year, and an offense that doesn't probably or didn't score a lot of points last year. I know week one laying a big number on the road, home underdogs are always pretty good. So even though I like the Eagles, I think my better play is going to be on the over 42 here. I love this number, opened at 44, dropped to 42. I'm going to play on the reverse line here. I'm going to take the over 42 in this one.
Right, and 42 is a very low line. I think this line looks super fishy, especially with this Washington team that was so bad last season. 3-13 overall and just 6-10 against the number. However, as you mentioned, they've got Chase Young, Dwayne Haskins, all Ohio State line going there, and then Ron Rivera. Hopefully he can bring some kind of semblance to this team that has been terrible, terrible, terrible. So I would like to take Washington here, but I think I'm going under the total in this one just because I don't think either team has found their footing yet. Moving on to Ron Rivera's previous team, the Panthers. They are hosting the Raiders in this one. The Raiders are road favorites, -3. Total is 47.5. Craig, what's the play?
Man, this one's a tough one. Of all the week one games, this one's the most difficult for me because, yes, I think the Raiders are – the time is now. I think now they got the new stadium. I think Chucky, we're going to see what he can bring to the Raiders, and this is the year I think he finally pays off. But the Panthers, they have a lot to maybe, a lot of changing parts here. Home underdog, though, week one. That's the worry here for me. But I'm still going to take the Las Vegas Raiders -3. Not the most confident pick of the week, just because the unknowns of Carolina's maybe more than any other team that we have in week one.
Right. I didn't see enough from the Raiders last season to make me want to pick them on the road here, especially going from West Coast to East Coast. I do like the Panthers in this one, especially since they're getting points at home. They still have Christian McCaffrey, one of the best players in the entire league. And plus, now he has a competent quarterback that can actually keep run defenses a little more honest. I like the Panthers getting points at home. Moving on to the most hyped in the entire league this season, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Yeah, they've got Tom Brady, they've got Gronk, they've got Leonard Fournette. They've got all these offensive weapons, but no one knows about their defense, I would say. They're at the Saints. Saints are -3.5. Total is 47.5. Craig, what's your take on this?
Well, this is the wild card of all wild cards, because if you trust what you've heard about Tampa Bay, how good this offense is going to be, and they were sneaky good on defense at times last year, then it would kind of lead you to believe that Tampa Bay is the play here. But Drew Brees and company, and Drew Brees is saying, hey, this might be it for him. That he's playing like it's the last chance that he's going to have at a Super Bowl. I like when the players are talking like that beginning of the season. The Saints have a more consistent, obviously, offense. Everybody's basically back. I like the Saints here, -3.5. I think Tom Brady and company might be good for Tampa Bay, but I think it could take a few weeks to get to that point. And I think the Saints at home get it done, -3.5.
Right. The Saints were 6-2 at home last year with only losses to the 49ers and the Falcons. And here's the matchup that I will be looking at. Brady under pressure. Cam Jordan had the most sacks of his entire career last season, 15 and a half sacks. Brady under pressure is not nearly as good as Brady without pressure. Brady has a completion rate of 71% with no pressure in the pocket. With pressure, it plummets to 34%. So Brady under pressure from Cam Jordan is what I will be looking at. I do like the Saints for that reason, and also because they're at home. And then moving on, we've got the Cardinals and the 49ers. 49ers minus 7.5, total 44.5. In this divisional matchup, Craig, who do you like?
Well, Arizona was sneaky good last year against the spread, especially in the middle to late part of the last season. I like what Arizona has done here. If you like Arizona, you need to shop this around and find that 7.5. I do see some sevens out there, so this is one of those games, depending on if you like the favorite or the underdog, where you go play this one. But I think you have to give Arizona a little credit here and take them at getting if you get that hook. So I take the 7.5 with Arizona. I also think this over is going to be pretty good. I think Arizona, their defense gave up a lot of points last year, but they did score a lot. So I do think the over is a solid play here as well.
Right. I love the Cardinals in this one. This was one that jumped off the page as soon as I saw it. Cardinals have won 8 of 10 against the 49ers and 3-0-1 against the number against San Francisco in their last 4. San Francisco won 6-1 against the number as home favorites against divisional opponents. I talked about divisional opponents being a little bit more tough, and those teams normally play a little bit closer, and I think that's the case in this one. And also Super Bowl losers playing the following year, 8-13 straight up, 6-15 against the number. So some things to consider in that matchup, and that's why I like the Cardinals. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Rams. The boys are favored minus 2.5. Total is 51 and a hook. Craig, who do you like?
Well, Mike McCarthy finally brings a consistent, dependable head coach that has proven at the highest level that he can win. I like the Dallas Cowboys minus 2.5. The Rams continue. We've seen just so many players leave off of what was the Super Bowl team just a few years ago. And it just shows you once you have to pay the quarterback, and it's really tough to keep these teams together. I think the Cowboys' time is now. I think the Dallas Cowboys are one of the best teams in the NFC, and I think they prove it here. It's too bad that we don't see the opening of the new Rams Stadium in this one, but I think the Cowboys have a clear edge here. I think the 2.5 is an absolute gift here.
I kind of like the under in this one just because 51.5 is so high. And we saw the Chiefs and the Texans, two teams that were very to the over last season, two dynamic offenses, and they barely hit that number of 54 or 53, depending on what you had it. So I do like an under in Cowboys Rams. That's going to do it for our NFL rapid fire picks. Now we can catch our breath. Thanks for tuning in. As always, great stuff from Craig Trapp. Thanks for joining us.